a good day on Daybreak USA, as we've been telling you through the morning time. In case you just joined us, Jay Young is running a half marathon in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Robert Friedman and I are here to just keep you up to date on what's going on. It is 48 minutes after the hour, and we have on the line Thomas Vecchia, an MBA, Leadership and Sales Strategist, author of the X Factor Selling System. We're talking Tim Tebow. Thomas, nice to have you with us.
Good morning, Ron.
Let's talk about Tim Tebow. All right, I have my own feelings about what's going on, but you're the expert. What do you think's going on with Tim?
Well, there's a lot, so I kind of segment into two buckets. First, you have Tim Tebow, the brand, then you have Tim Tebow, the player. In terms of the brand, he's still strong. People love him. That's not going away. In terms of the player, he has a lot of work to do, and he's got to find himself a home.
Do you think that with his abilities, and Tim Tebow is one smart cookie. He knows the game of football. He's young. Give him 5-6 more years as an understudy team manager, or I see him possibly never throwing another football, but going into management and ending up somewhere with backing as possibly a partial owner or a general manager of a major league team. Is that too far out?
Yeah, Ron, that's a great point. He definitely is very intelligent. He knows the game. I could see him in an administrative role, although he is very young. So right now, his key is to focus on his mechanics. Mechanics are way off. He takes too long to throw the ball. So for him to go to a coaching role, I think he needs to fix his problems first, have a little bit of success, and that'll warrant him and give him justification when he leads his own team.
Yeah, my only thinking in that was I know I studied voice for a lot of years, and the gentleman I studied with was from Russia. And he didn't sing. And I said, how can you teach voice if you don't sing? He said, I am the better teacher because I don't sing. I know the mechanics, I know the spirit, and I know how to convey it to you. And I said, well, now there's a school of thought. Is it possible that Tim, in another 5 or 10 years, even though he does not play more and work out his skills, that he would know the mechanics enough to teach them?
He can, and one of the newer thoughts in leadership now is not just simply being a great leader, but it's to gain followership. So what's the use of leading a team if nobody follows you?
Sure.
Even though they have to follow you because of the responsibility, they may not follow you in actions or thought. So if he does fix his mechanics and he does step up his game and does have some success, he'll have great followership. Now, it doesn't mean he'll be a great leader, but the better kind of street cred he gains throughout his career, that'll help him be a better leader and get great followership down the road.
All right, from your perspective, do you think Tim is more interested in his brand or his game?
Now, this is interesting. So his brand is strong. He went to the Jets. He did not do much. He didn't play. And his brand maintained a strong position within his platform and throughout the country. He practices a lot. So I believe he wants to be better. He wants to help himself as a player, and his brand is strong and remains strong. And I don't think he cultivates his brand intentionally. I just think that's who he is, and that's why we love him. But I think he's focusing on his ability, but it's not about his skill. It's about his will to fix his mechanics. If he fixes mechanics, he'll be fine.
It just occurred to me as you're saying that, as a reality show. Tim should get a reality show going. But in all reality, do you see him ending up with anybody? They released him. The Jets released him at a very inopportune time when everybody's roster was full. Do you see anybody opening up a space for him?
Yeah, Ron, you bring another great point. In our book, The X Factor Selling System, we talk about what the 4 Ps, what motivates you: people, product, process, or price. So if he's financially motivated, he'll sign on to the highest bidder, play or not play, sell a ton of shirts. But if he's really recognition focused, which would be people want to be there, want to play, want to get in front of the crowd, he's going to have to settle for a smaller market like Jacksonville, which he's a god there anyway, and it works out, and he'll get a lot more playing time. If he really wants to work as an understudy, as you said, he's better off landing with his former coach over in San Diego.
That going to happen, you think?
We don't know. This is what's interesting. See, if I'm him, I'm closing the door, shut my cell phone, and working on my mechanics, and let his agent and his business people find him his next job. Right now, although he does need a job, his greater issue is he's got to fix the mechanics.
Do you think he can avoid becoming a, well, for want of a better term, a publicity stunt?
I think that ship sailed. He came to the Jets